Hello everyone, I am reporter Ulysses Sue, and today I am with Betsy Isis to give us a brief introduction about Anchorage, Alaska. Good afternoon, Betsy Isis.
Hi, it's nice to meet you.
So could you give us a brief introduction about Anchorage and Alaska, please?
Sure. Alaska was the 49th state to join the country. It happened to be in 1959, the year that I was born. So when someone asks me how old I am, I say I'm as old as the state of Alaska.
Wow.
And Anchorage, just last year, or maybe the year before, we celebrated our 100th anniversary of the city of Anchorage. It's the largest city in Anchorage, much larger than most of the other cities, and most of the population is here.
So what's the difference of the weather between winter, summer, daytime, and nighttime? Because I know some things about Alaska that there's a very big difference between summer and winter. So what difference is that?
Well, that's true. In the summertime, it's light. In June 21st, it's light almost all day long. Up above the Arctic Circle, it's light 24 hours a day. Here in Anchorage, we get about 20 hours of light in the summertime. But then it's opposite in the winter. On December 21st, it's dark above the Arctic Circle. The sun doesn't ever rise above the Arctic Circle in the winter. But here in Anchorage, we do get the sun rising about 10 in the morning, and it'll go back down at 2, but it kind of just scoots up above the horizon and just goes back down. So it's almost like it's sunset all day, which when it's winter, it's covered with snow, so the sunsets are very beautiful. They're orange and pinks all day. It's very pretty. But it is cold too, so in the winter time we have to wear our boots and our coats and our mittens and our hats. But in the summertime, well, you're here now and you just have a vest on, so it's not too cold, although today it was quite rainy, wasn't it?
Yes. How is Alaska special from other states?
Well, we're not in part of the continuous United States. We're separated up by Canada. So if you want to leave Alaska, you have to drive all the way through Canada to drive out of Alaska. But I bet you flew on a plane here.
Yes.
So most of the time people travel on a plane. It's also very diverse. There's big cities like Anchorage, and then you get out
in the wilderness.
In the wilderness, exactly, in the mountains. But you also get out into the villages, and they're very small and not very populated. So lots of diversity within Alaska.
Where is the best location to see the glaciers in Alaska? Because the glaciers are kind of the key points in Alaska.
Right. My favorite place is to go to Prince William Sound, and you can go out in a boat and you can see lots and lots of glaciers, and some of them are tidewater glaciers. They go all the way down to the water, and some don't reach the water, but they're all very beautiful.
How are the glaciers created? Because those humongous glaciers, that's a big block of ice, so how is it created?
Did you see a glacier when you were here?
Well, yes.
Oh, good. So sometimes it snows and snows and snows in Alaska, and most of the time here in Anchorage anyway, it'll melt during the summer, but there are places in Alaska where the snow never melts. So that snow the next year, more snow packs on top of that, and it does never melt, so more snow packs on top of that, and it never melts. So for millions of years, that snow just keeps packing down, and that forms a glacier. And then pretty soon it gets so heavy that it starts to move, and it'll scoot down the hillside, lots of times into the water.
What is the most common wild animals you can see in Alaska? Because we went hiking and we were really scared of bears.
Oh, you don't see bears very often.
So
Did you see a bear?
No.
Oh, good.
So what's the most common wild animals you can see in Alaska?
In Anchorage, the city, the most common you probably see is a moose. And we'll see those pretty much every week. Not every day, but every week. I've seen one bear this summer when I was bike riding, and it was just eating dandelions on the side of the path. But if you go out to Prince William Sound, you can see sea otters and sea lions and whales and sometimes even porpoise. So that's different if you're by the water.
Okay.
So.
Where in Alaska can you see the northern lights?
Well, you have to wait till it's dark.
Okay.
The best place I've seen them was at a camp out in the Matanuska Valley, where it was very, very dark and the northern lights were out, but I've also seen them in Fairbanks, or even from my bedroom window sometimes we see them, but it has to be dark, and most of the time in the winter, although they are there in the summer, you just can't see them.
Is it beautiful?
It's very beautiful.
What is the best transportation in Alaska at summer and winter? Like at summer, do you take trains or bikes out there?
Well, sometimes you can go biking. You can ride the train, you can drive your car, you can take a boat, all kinds of transportation. Then in the winter, you can drive your car, but you have to have studded snow tires. But you can also have a snow machine or skis. My son has what's called a fat tire bike, and their tires of the bike are very fat like this, and then you could ride your bike right in the snow too.
What is the major economy in Alaska and Anchorage?
Well, in all of Alaska, it's probably the oil industry, but we also have mining, and we have lots and lots of fishing, so there's lots of salmon fishing industry. We send
We've seen a lot of fish.
Oh, good. We send those all over the world. Now, here in Anchorage, it's not, we don't have much mining or gold or oil, but in Anchorage, there's a big presence of the military here with our military base over at J-Bear. And I guess that's about it. I don't know how many industry, it's hard to make things here in Alaska, but we do have people who grow vegetables.
At least it's in the wilderness.
Yeah, but they do grow vegetables and that kind of stuff.
What are the natural resources in Alaska?
That's a good question. Well, of course, oil, and then there's all the minerals, gold, and all of the copper, and lots of other minerals that they mine. But then there's fish and crab, and I'm not thinking we export very many vegetables or anything like that, although if you stay here long enough to go to the fair, you'll see a pumpkin like as big as your dad. So.
Thank you for giving us all your knowledge and information about Anchorage and Alaska. This is Ulysses reporting at Anchorage, Alaska. Thank you.